Please welcome to the stage President of the University of Missouri System, Dr. Moon Choi.
Good morning. I want to begin by thanking the students, faculty, and staff for joining us today for this very special celebration. Their hard work and dedication have been central to our success as an academic institution. I also want to welcome members of the UMKC Board of Trustees, UMKC Foundation Board, and the members of the Alumni Association. Their generous support has been so central to weathering the storms of the peaks and valleys that have defined public higher education. I want to extend a special welcome to members of the Board of Curators, John Phillips and Phil Snowden. So today we are gathered for the investiture of Dr. Mauli Agrawal. Investitures are an age-old celebration to mark the beginning of a new era that's marked by a very bold vision. This bold vision for our university is deeply rooted in student success, breakthrough research, and engagement with the communities that we serve. This vision is codified in what we call the Missouri Compacts at the University of Missouri. From the beginning, Chancellor Agrawal has indicated that UMKC can become one of the top urban public research universities. And his work has already focused on the core foundations for making this vision come true. Through his actions and the work of the faculty, students, and staff, he will provide broad access to a high-quality education, effective teaching and learning, higher retention and graduation rates, and creating nationally competitive research programs, as well as scholarship that elevates the human condition. And more importantly, because it is an urban institution, creating that engagement with the city of Kansas City and the greater Kansas City region through our teaching and research. He also envisions a renewed partnership with this great city so that together we can build a more prosperous and sustainable future. His dedication to this effort has already paid off. During his first year in office, he was able to create, through the Promise and Opportunity Scholarship, $40 million in scholarship for those students who have the greatest need. So providing access has been a hallmark already of his young administration. So today we're going to hear his comprehensive vision for the future of UMKC. And I ask all of you to support this vision, which is a collective vision and an inclusive vision. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Tom Block, current chair of the UMKC Foundation Board, a past chair of the UMKC Board of Trustees, and a former honorary doctorate recipient.
Thank you. Last evening at a celebration dinner, stakeholder groups were proud to present Mauli and Sue Agrawal with some special gifts. The Alumni Governing Board presented him with his official academic regalia. It consists of the traditional gown, doctoral hood, and cap. These are symbols of the legacy not just of UMKC, but of higher education, tangible signs of his participation in and leadership of our RU family. The UMKC trustees presented Dr. Agrawal with an original White House Foundation stone, removed from the building during a renovation ordered by President Harry Truman. I tried to auction this thing off last night. Sue wouldn't let me. It includes this inscription. In 1945, President Harry S. Truman spoke on the South Terrace of what is now Schofield Hall upon receiving the university's very first honorary doctorates. To commemorate that historic visit, then President Clarence Decker requested a special memento to mark the occasion. The timing of the visit coincided with President Truman's efforts to renovate the White House, and as a result, 2 stones from the original White House structure were acquired. This piece, taken from the original stone, is presented in celebration of Chancellor Mauli Agrawal's formal investiture, April 2nd, 2019. The UMKC Foundation presented Dr. Agrawal with a framed print of the famous Norman Rockwell painting Spirit of Kansas City. The original is part of the Hallmark Art Collection, commissioned by Hallmark founder J.C. Hall after a devastating flood inundated the city. It is viewed as a symbol of this city's fortitude and resolve. And the board of the Diastole Scholar Center at UMKC presented Mauli and Sue Agrawal with a ceremonial mask carved by Dr. E. Gray Diamond, one of the founders of our School of Medicine and the Scholars Center. It is a symbol of UMKC's global reach and impact, and of the thread of leadership that extends through generations here at UMKC. Finally, Sue was presented with a pin crafted by internationally acclaimed jewelry artist Robin Nichols of Kansas City. Robin is known for crafting botanical images from metal, creating unique reflections of earth, life, and art. Robin is the artist that created the current Chancellor's medallion and mace. And now we have some representatives of students, faculty, and staff who want to share some things with our new Chancellor.
Please welcome to the stage Stephen Dilks, current chair of the UMKC Faculty Senate, and Karen King, vice chair of the UMKC Staff Council.
It is our distinct pleasure to honor Dr. Agrawal with gifts from faculty and staff. These gifts illustrate the ties of history and tradition, threads that are woven into the life of an institution that spans generations. Dr. Agrawal, would you please join us on stage?
Our gifts are depicted here on the screen, framed works depicting the past and present of our 2 campuses, the Volker campus and the Hospital Hill campus. May the achievements and traditions of our past and present guide you and inspire you as you chart the course for our future. These 2 works will be on display in the lobby at the conclusion of our program. On behalf of faculty and staff, Dr. Agrawal, welcome, and Mrs. Agrawal, welcome to UMKC.
Please welcome to the stage Jalen Brooks, comptroller of the UMKC Student Government Association.
All right, good morning, everyone. Dr. Agrawal and the student body of UMKC is pleased to announce our gift in recognition of your investiture. You have set a new standard already in your campaign to enhance and expand school spirit and a sense of belonging on our campuses. We appreciate your recognition and support of our traditions, many of which center on our identity as kangaroos. Kansas City's own Walt Disney reinforced that tradition with the first 2-dimensional drawing of our mascot. In continuing recognition of that identity, the UMKC Alumni Association worked with Kansas City sculptor Tom Corbin to create a beautiful kangaroo statue depicting the power and grace of our mascot animal. The SGA and our student body are grateful to the Alumni Governing Board in granting special permission to commission this new statue. The Alumni Governing Board originally commissioned Mr. Corbin with creating the unique roof statue so as to annually celebrate our high-achieving alumni award recipients. They own the copyright, and so we are most grateful to them for allowing us to create this special, new, iconic symbol for the campus, a true point of pride, that the entire campus community will forever be able to enjoy.
Please welcome to the stage former UMKC Chancellor and current President of the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, Dr. Guy Bailey.
Thank you so much. First of all, I am deeply honored to be here. Some of the best years of my life I spent here. I have very fond memories of UMKC and Kansas City, and some of you have met Val. Not long after we started dating, I told her, I want to take you somewhere that was very special in my life. We came to Kansas City as tourists and had a wonderful time. It's a very important place to me, and when the Chancellor's position came open, I thought, I know just the right person for that job. I've known Dr. Mauli Agrawal for 20 years now in a variety of different ways. He was my engineering dean when I was provost at UTSA. He, before that, started the biomedical engineering program at UTSA, a joint program with the Health Science Center. We had hired him away from the medical school in San Antonio. I guess the point, and he also had started up several businesses. I don't know anyone who has such a broad reach of experiences in higher education. He's been a VP for research. He's been a provost. He's been a chair. He's been a dean. He's started up businesses. He's been in a medical school. He's been in a general academic. What else could you do? The other thing I knew about Mauli Agrawal, the San Antonio community loved him. I thought, you know, if San Antonio loved him, he'll do even better in Kansas City. And when I talked to Mauli, I said, there is no warmer community, no more generous community. You'll love the students, you'll love the faculty, and you will love Kansas City. And I think this is the perfect marriage. So it is a real honor for me to be here today at his investiture. He is a terrific man, and together you're going to do great things. You know, when I left here in 2008, this building wasn't here, right? The soccer stadium was just being completed. Only one of those dorms over there was up. That Whole Foods, we'd started where it was not there. When you drive on this campus, you see remarkable things. But you know the thing that is most remarkable? When I came to this campus, if you looked at the clothing that students wore, what you almost never saw, and Mary Diaz remembers this, is UMKC. Go outside now and see what you see. The pride in this campus. And Mauli, you've done a great job in building this pride. I love seeing the students with UMKC gear. You know, Mauli is a man of great vision, and his vision will take you great places. And so at this time, I think it's a good opportunity to hear Mauli's vision. So Mauli, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Guy. I would like to start by first thanking the Board of Curators and President Choi for giving me the opportunity for this job. And President Choi, over the past few months, it's been a pleasure and a privilege to work with you, and I hope to continue doing that over the next several years. So thank you for that. I would also like to acknowledge our leadership team here at UMKC. A lot of them are here in the front row, led by our provost, Dr. Barbara Bickelmeyer, and the rest of the team that is the Chancellor's Executive Council. This is a team, and we couldn't do this without a team. I would like to acknowledge my family. My wife, Sue. We have been married for more than 30 years now, and we have two wonderful children, Ethan, who works in Dallas, and Serena, who will graduate from college in about 5 or 6 weeks and will move on to her first job. You cannot do these jobs without unwavering support and love from home, so I truly acknowledge that. And then one more acknowledgement. Dr. Isaac Newton once famously wrote, and I paraphrase, and he said, "I have seen far because I have stood on the shoulders of giants who came before me." And he meant the other great scientists who had preceded him. But all of us in this room know that when we succeed, it's actually because of the giants in our lives who raise us up and help us succeed. My giants were my parents. My father came from a small village in India and was the first one to go to school. My mother was the first female in her family to go to school, and then didn't stop there. When a time when most women in India did not even go to college, she went on to get a Ph.D. They worked together all their lives in small businesses, doing modestly well. We lived very modestly. But through it all, they made very immense personal sacrifices to make sure that their children got the best education. So from growing up in a small town under modest circumstances on the other side of the world to here today, it's been a long journey, sometimes hard, but mostly incredible, wonderful, and joyous. My father has since passed, but my mother, who is now fast approaching the ripe young age of 90, is here with us today, and I want to acknowledge her role in this great journey. Thank you, Maji. Let me begin by offering my sincere thanks for the kind words and thoughtful gifts Sue and I have received both yesterday and today. And even more importantly, she and I offer gratitude for the extraordinary warmth with which our entire family, including my mother, have been received into this community. We must admit that over the last few months, we have truly fallen in love with this university and this city. And I'm both thrilled and humbled by the awesome opportunity and immense responsibility that has been entrusted to me. Recognizing that opportunity and responsibility, I have spent the past few months immersed in the discovery of Kansas City and of UMKC. I've been studying the present to try to understand what can I do to help unleash the latent power of this university and this community so that together we can do great things. And I've studied the past to understand the forces, the conditions, and the human effort that have brought both campus and community to this point in time, so rich in possibilities. As part of that process, I read a book. It's called The Place of Light, written by Mary Decker and her husband, Clarence Decker. Clarence Decker was the second president of the University of Kansas City and led UKC, now UMKC, from 1938 to 1953. It was interesting to read about what they were discussing on a brand new campus here 80 years ago. Believe it or not, the hot topics were freedom of speech, faculty shared governance, and the need for liberal arts versus the need for applied sciences. In some ways, nothing has changed, but in others, a lot has transformed. Back then, the Country Club Plaza was relatively new, and if you looked south from the Nelson Atkins Museum, you would see just a few buildings and mansions, each perched on a hill. And these are now the sites of Schofield Hall, the Block School, the Linda Hall Library, and the Epperson House. The rest of the campus has been added through the hard work of generations that preceded us. They've given us a truly beautiful campus and such a rich heritage. So as we look forward, let us not forget those who brought us here. The Deckers took the title of their book, A Place of Light, from a quote by Benjamin Disraeli, who said, "A university should be a place of light, of liberty, and of learning." And I emphatically agree. This is our legacy. This is our responsibility. This is our duty. We are called to maintain the foundations of learning and ethics and freedom and human rights that we have inherited. And more, we are called to expand these foundations so that all people benefit, and so that we can leverage them to solve problems old and new that still plague our communities, and to take human society to even greater heights. That should be the essence of an urban public research university. If that truly is a calling, then how can we ever settle for being ordinary? Today, I ask you to embrace a vision for this university. That vision calls for all of us to make a commitment to be not only just a place of light, but also become a community of excellence. So what is the community of excellence? Henry Block is perhaps one of the greatest sons of Kansas City, someone who's had a tremendous impact on a university, on a community, and our entire nation. In a biography of Henry by his son Tom, he's quoted as follows: "The person who succeeds is the one who does his or her own job and then some, who's thoughtful to others and then some, who meets obligations and responsibilities and then some. That's the person who steps ahead of the crowd and goes on to great heights," end quote. That is the philosophy we must live by to become a community of excellence. That is the culture we must grow here at UMKC. The path to excellence is not very complicated. It is as simple as truly living the culture of, and then some. To be a community of excellence is to recognize that improvement is a constant process, that no matter how much we achieve, the possibility always exists for us to do better. And we must commit to pursuing that improvement every day, in every way. We must commit to still that voice that seductively whispers in our ears, "Good enough to get by." Let me be clear. The path to excellence may be straightforward, but it is not easy. It requires hard work and a daily rededication to do better than yesterday. It will require each and every one of us to change that one thing that is so very hard to change, ourselves. The path to excellence will require clear thinking and, to be frank, some hard decisions. We must make strategic investments, and asset reallocations will be required to make those investments possible. We must identify our areas of greatest strengths and greatest opportunity, and invest time, effort, and resources in those areas. A new strategic plan, assembled by a UMKC community, is the roadmap we must follow. It provides a realistic path to both the excellence we seek and to the growth that will empower us to seize this opportunity. Now, the linchpin on which success hinges is enrollment growth. Enrollment growth will provide the economies of scale we need to generate resources for the investments we must make. Enrollment growth is also necessary for us to meet a responsibility to this community as its only public research university. Today's UMKC is simply not large enough to meet or produce enough graduates to meet the demand in a growing, successful community of this size. The enrollment goals in a strategic plan are challenging, but it is a challenge we must rise to meet. We are committed to increase enrollment by 50% over the next decade. And this must be targeted growth achieved in strategic areas that mirror job growth and demand and diversity in our community. As we rise to meet enrollment goals, we will be empowered to achieve the other specific goals of the strategic plan. The plan is organized around 5 pillars. As Dr. Choi mentioned, these pillars reflect our commitment to the Missouri Compacts. They also reflect our commitment to meet our unique responsibilities as the only public research university in the Kansas City area. So today I want to share with you the launch of some specific signature initiatives that exemplify the promise embedded in these pillars. These initiatives did not come packed in my suitcase from San Antonio. They are a result of a careful analysis of our university and of our community. Pillar 1 of the strategic plan calls for us to provide exceptional student learning success and experience. How will we define student success? We will apply the term broadly with the goal of defining it for each student as an individual. The overall goal of student success, however, is simple: successful and timely degree completion for every student we admit. The strategic plan sets forth specific goals for student success in terms of retention and graduation rates, and we'll achieve these goals by taking an entirely new approach, thanks to great work done by Provost Bickelmeyer and her wonderful team over the past few months. we are introducing a new student success model called Rule Strong as a signature initiative for student success. Have a look.
Getting that piece of paper saying, "You got in, we want you to be here." I was literally on my floor crying. I was just like, I got into college.
Student success is, of course, about helping a student complete their college degree, but it's really about so much more than just completing a college degree.
Finding oneself is something that I definitely am thankful for UMKC for helping me and not necessarily spoon-feeding me confidence, but certainly allowing me to have opportunities in order to build that confidence.
So for us, it's about becoming a human capital development enterprise where we're elevating each human being who walks through our doors. The idea of helping students to help themselves says that we want to be here learning in partnership with you. We want to help you to become better and more than you've been before, while we're doing our part to become better and more than we've been before as well.
I want students to, while they're here, step outside of their comfort zone. I want them to create a new perspective. I want them to evolve. I want them to, at the end of the day, feel like UMKC made them a little bit better leaving than when they came here. And so students need to understand that they're not in this alone. We're all here to get them to the end goal.
UMKC es el lugar que ayuda a las personas a ser las personas que son destinadas a ser.
The new student success model that Provost Bickelmeyer referred to is driven by data analytics that individually track each student and her journey through UMKC in a holistic continuum rather than a series of discrete steps. This continuum will start at the time a student approaches UMKC for inquiry for admission and will include entry and onboarding, progress through the years, completion, and end with transition to whatever lies beyond graduation. It will balance high expectations with a high level of support and commitment. The main tenets of the culture of care and sense of belonging underwriting Rule Strong will include the following. We will meet each student exactly where they are. We will assess, but we will not judge or assume. We will treat each student as a member of our family. We will engage each student with learning experiences and co-curricular supports to meet their unique needs. We will provide each student with constant guidance and feedback. We will help each student take responsibility for their own personal progress, their education, their decisions, and their futures. Now, UMKC is and will remain an access institution for those prepared for college. We must understand, however, that access and excellence are not mutually exclusive. We will not lower our standards, but we will offer students the support and guidance they need and deserve in order for them to meet our standards and reach their full potentials. A major part of our mission is to lower the financial barriers that stand between many in our community and their higher educational goals. So we're committed to seize every opportunity to make a UMKC education more affordable. We have already made substantial progress, as Dr. Choi noted, thanks to the generosity and vision of the KC Scholars Organization, the H&R Block, and the Block family, and the University of Missouri system. We have created 2 new scholarship programs in the past few months that together will add $40 million in new monies to our financial aid resources. And then my wife, Sue, and I have made a personal financial commitment in partnership with the Alumni Association to create a new scholarship fund called the La Familia Promise and Opportunity Fund for students from low and modest income families. And I would like to invite all of our UMKC community to explore how you may be able to participate in this fund to aid our students. And thanks to my friend, Chancellor Kim Betty, I don't know if Kim made it in yet or not, from the Metropolitan Community College, we are very close to signing an agreement for a new initiative called Rumentum on Track, where students can co-enroll at both institutions in a structured program, thereby providing them with a seamless transition from MCC to UMKC. Pillar 2 of a strategic plan calls us to become a thriving discovery enterprise. A thriving discovery enterprise is one that engages in robust research and creative activity. This passionate pursuit of discovery is central to our mission. It is what sets UMKC apart and makes us unique in this community. Opportunities for discovery can play a vital role in our growth by helping us attract more of the kinds of students, faculty, and staff who are particularly energized and motivated by such opportunities. So we'll be making investments in a discovery enterprise. I'm excited today to announce that one of our new signature initiatives in this area will be a new institute dedicated to leveraging our local strengths in data science. This will be the Institute for Data Education, Analysis, and Science, or IDEAS for short. The coordinator of the new institute is Dr. Brent Never, an associate professor of public affairs at the Block School of Management. Here's a look at IDEAS and some of the other discovery initiatives.
Kansas City is ripe for new research.
Public Research University is all about engaging the public itself, and data is one way of really working with the population, having them empowered with their own data. So IDEAS is the Institute for Data Education, Analysis, and Science. So IDEAS is our effort to really use data for good. Data science can really run the gamut from big data, billions of data points about where you're driving your car, where your phone is located, all the way down to qualitative. Whether you're a philosophy major, understanding the ethics of privacy and data, whether you're an engineering student and you're developing the new tools that will change our lives in the future, this is a skill that our students can take and run with.
My name is Mary Okafor, and I'm majoring in mechanical engineering. The main research I've done was me creating a hand glove prototype with sensors attached to it. Basically, the glove will help to read the motion of the hand, so whatever you're doing, it could tell you where you're going. So it's really amazing just knowing that I could learn that here at UMKC, then take that with me when I graduate.
The UMKC research capability of the future rests on the foundation that we are building up and have built up over the last 2 or 3 years. We can and have competed with Tier 1 research institutions and will only continue to expand on that with the ever-growing research base that we have right now.
So I think UMKC has a wonderful foundation in research, and this is really about taking it to the next level.
As Brent said in the video, we are really poised to take our research to the next level. IDEAS is a primary example of our approach to growth, which is to identify existing areas of strength at UMKC, match them with strengths and needs in our community, and invest in them. For example, IDEAS will further the nationally renowned work of Dr. John Spertus from a School of Medicine in the area of health outcomes for heart disease. IDEAS will also work closely with and support the University of Missouri system-wide initiative on translational precision medicine. Another emerging area of strength is the ability to harness technology in service to our national security. Dr. Tony Caruso, who you just saw in the video, is Assistant Vice Chancellor for Research and a professor in our Department of Physics and Astronomy. His expertise is in areas of national security research and that have led him to becoming the principal investigator in the largest non-medical research grant in the history of UMKC, a $15 million project to develop countermeasures to defend against the threat of drone aircraft. Earlier, he had led a project to combat the threat of imported nuclear materials that won a prestigious R&D 100 award, the so-called Oscars of Invention. I cannot tell you everything that Dr. Caruso does and he and his team do, or what they're engaged in right now. In fact, he cannot even tell me because of the security clearances needed. But all I can tell you is that there's much more to come in this area, and it will be truly significant. Certainly another area of strength, as well as a response to a powerful and growing demand in our community, is a School of Computing and Engineering. Our new $32 million facility, the Robert Plaster Free Enterprise and Research Center, is now under construction. It will enhance research opportunities for engineering and computer science. It also represents a major investment in our commitment to supporting a community's vital entrepreneurship infrastructure. The center will include a makerspace with industry-grade equipment available to students and faculty, and also to others in our community. While we are committed to making major investments in areas of strength, we are also committed to creating an infrastructure for supporting all of our faculty in their research efforts. As a longtime active researcher myself, I recognize how important that research support is for our faculty. We are currently engaged in a national search for a Vice Chancellor for Research who will help us lead this effort. This new person will also renew and enhance our collaborations with other research institutions in our metro area, including those across state line. Pillar 3 of our strategic plan calls to transform our community and region with impactful engagement. The key to this pillar is the word impactful. Our goal is not merely to make friends, although we treasure our friends. What we truly intend to make is a difference. We approach this mission both earnestly and strategically. We will apply our greatest collaborative strengths to areas where they are needed most in our community. The examples of our engagement are bountiful. Consider our musical bridges program through the Conservatory, where we help young musicians receive the musical education they need to advance their talent and make a career in music. Or our law school's work with the Midwest Innocence Project, working to exonerate the wrongly convicted. Or the work of our faculty in architecture, urban planning, and design, serving as a resource and catalyst for urban neighborhoods through the Center for Neighborhoods. Furthermore, there are people in our community who desperately need access to new emerging fields or to retool their skill sets after many years of employment. And they may need to do this without signing up for the multi-year process of earning another traditional degree. That calls us to think about workforce development in ways beyond established patterns. So I'm proud today to announce another signature initiative, the UMKC Talent Link. The Talent Link is a program to expand educational offerings through opportunities for individuals to engage in learning through non-credit courses. Individuals enrolled in Talent Link programs will not pursue a traditional degree, but will work to earn badges and stackable certificates and other forms of credentialing that are evolving in the 21st century. Sarah Morris, our new Executive Director of Informal and Continuing Education, is leading the development of this initiative. Have a look.
The needs of our community, the greater Kansas City region, are of the utmost importance, and they are driving what we're doing.
UMKC is a part of our community and that they are a change agent. When I think about the business community and entrepreneurship, so many seeds were planted over the last 30, 50 years. And those seeds are blooming in things that half of those individuals never thought could come to reality. If it wasn't for the Block School creating the Center for Entrepreneurship, we wouldn't have that ability to watch it grow.
The public university has a role in economic development and in workforce development. We do a great job of serving our traditional students and our non-traditional students in credit-bearing education. This effort and Talent Link is really going to be designed to maximize the work we're doing in the community.
UMKC and the Conservatory, we're in the heart of Kansas City, so if we want to be that big of a part of Kansas City, we have to be involved in the community. Musical Bridges is a program to bridge the gap A lot of the students that we reach out to are in some of the lower income schools. Some of these kids, if we were not giving this opportunity, then they would never get lessons. They would never get the opportunities to work with musicians like our faculty. Honestly, it changes those kids' lives.
UMKC already has a strong history of delivering non-credit education in Kansas City. UMKC Talent Link is going to be an expansion of that. It will be the new front door for non-credit education for this region. And it will fundamentally change the way UMKC engages in further developing the current workforce for the region's business community. Talent Link will also explore a future for competency-based certifications. Our goal is that UMKC Talent Link will help organizations and business develop leaders, retain talent, and grow the skills of their current employees. And it will link learners with the skills they need to thrive in today's workforce and tomorrow's. Pillar 4 of a strategic plan calls for us to foster an environment of invigorating multiculturalism, globalism, diversity, and inclusion. We value diversity as central to our mission here at UMKC. This calls us to establish and maintain a campus environment that is welcoming to all. And beyond that, it calls us to reach out proactively and purposefully to the traditionally underserved. That welcoming outreach must be evident in our recruiting of new students, of staff and faculty, and it must be evident in our engagement with all members of our Kansas City and campus community. Watch the video.
I really love Kansas City because the people in Kansas City are so welcoming of the people from other countries and people from actually diverse backgrounds.
I think embracing diversity is very important, not only on campus, but in the KC community as well. I feel like increasing the opportunities of interaction between domestic students and international students will definitely help international students feel more welcome and improve their educational experience in general at UMKC.
According to the campus climate study research that UMKC had a couple years ago, one of the #1 reasons for students to have intent to leave is a lack of sense of belonging. And so if we can increase some of that inclusion on campus, we can raise that retention rate and decrease that lack of sense of belonging that students are feeling, which will hopefully make them want to hang out here at UMKC more.
So the UMKC Health Equity Institute is focused on 4 primary things. The first one being collaboration, the second one being serving the greater Kansas City community, and then gathering information to inform on a number of different issues, and then lastly, to innovate. I like to say that the doors of the university are open, so that community members begin to feel comfortable in our space and know that they're contributing in a really meaningful way to making change that's of importance to them. And so I think in doing that process, we'll have an incredible opportunity to really explore what multiculturalism looks like.
I think a lot of the professors here at UMKC encourage different ideas and viewpoints on a lot of different subjects and topics. I definitely felt welcome and I felt like I belonged here.
UMKC also lives in the center of a metropolitan area with dramatic contrasts. Depending on the zip code in which one lives, the life expectancy can vary by as much as 15 years. While many are working toward making a community healthier and more equitable, there's a special role for UMKC to make a difference. And that is why we are establishing the UMKC Health Equity Institute as another signature initiative. The role of the Health Equity Institute will be to ensure that individuals and families in our communities have equal opportunities for improved health and well-being. You heard School of Medicine faculty member Jeanette Berkeley-Patton speak eloquently about that in the video. It gives me great pride to announce that Dr. Berkeley-Patton one of the true champions of outreach to diverse communities, will lead this new effort. I, like Dr. Berkeley Patton, believe we can address the social determinants of health and improve the culture of health in our homes, in our schools, in our workplaces, and neighborhoods by leveraging the strengths of UMKC as a research and teaching community, and by working alongside our community partners to ensure that all people in a city have the opportunity to flourish and thrive. With a focused vision and shared values, I believe we can work with and across our community to foster cross-sector collaboration, to determine initiatives for safe housing and food security, educational and job opportunities, healthcare access, neighborhood infrastructure, to positively impact the health and well-being of our community. Through this institute, we will convene a community collaborative that will identify key strategies for research, best practices in communication, and identify health equity district priorities based on needs, opportunities, and partnerships. Our work will begin with a data project in collaboration with Ideas, a new data institute, to map current interventions, and with the innovative initial demonstration projects, we'll begin to address community-identified needs. Pillar 5 of our strategic plan calls for us to develop a strong and resilient people, processes, and physical infrastructure. Since I arrived on this campus about 9 months ago, I've seen a lot that has impressed me. But nothing has impressed me more than the perseverance of our community, the faculty, the staff, and the students of UMKC. You have stayed true to your mission in the face of adversity, and you have achieved much while overcoming barriers. I am so proud to be part of this community.
I've seen a changeover from the pre-existing leadership to the new leadership to have more synchronicity between faculty and staff. Our goal is holistically the same. So with all the changeover in the university as far as leadership, it's always important to identify principles, practices, and customs that you have had in place for years, and to come to the point where you can reevaluate those and make the comfortable decision that maybe we should change this policy, or possibly this procedure is outdated.
Our office is being strategic with our time and resources. We do a large fair every semester. We're constantly being asked to be bigger and better.
I think UMKC is having a special moment right now. We have a new chancellor. We have a provost who's making wonderful changes. We face different challenges now, certainly. We are still a vital part of making Kansas City the great city that it is. There literally are UMKC grads everywhere in Kansas City. You know, there are accountants, and there are musicians, and there are people in theaters. We're all here because we want students to learn and succeed and go out to the world and do great things. The sky is the limit for UMKC.
The passion and commitment of our people really comes through there, doesn't it? Our 5th pillar is all about giving our people the tools and resources they need to succeed. Success in this part of our mission is necessary if we are to succeed at anything else. We cannot grow our enrollment if our campuses are not attractive and inviting physical spaces. We cannot develop that vital sense of belonging if we do not have a physical environment that encourages people to stay on campus and get involved in activities. We cannot realize the potential for discovery without the proper equipment and infrastructure to support it. So we have several vital infrastructure initiatives underway or planned. We have broken ground on the new plaster-free enterprise and research center. We have announced a plan to locate a new conservatory right here on the Volker campus so that it is convenient for our students and our faculty and our staff. And we hope that once built, this will provide a much-needed iconic phase 2 at our Volker campus. We are continuing to explore ways to address the physical infrastructure needs at the UMKC Health Sciences District campus. We are also trying to be good stewards of a legacy. I appointed a task force to explore uses for the Epperson House so that we can bring that prominent and grand building back into the daily life of a campus community. I'll now be exploring ways to raise private funds for the next steps. In addition to the 5 pillars, a strategic plan is based on a fundamental commitment to provide an unwavering commitment to the development of our people. Dr. Choi and I both recognize the importance of providing our people with opportunities to grow and develop their careers and to provide competitive salaries and benefits. The provost is working on developing a faculty development program where we can provide faculty with the latest in resources regarding what they love best to do, teaching and research. I promise that faculty support will be an area of focus for me in the months to come. Career and professional development is important to staff as well, and we recognize that this is an area where improvement is needed. We are working on developing a staff mentorship program. The Talk It Up training that some of you have already participated in is one component of that. There's much more to come. This commitment to our people is truly foundational. It is the rock on which everything we hope to achieve will be built. These signature initiatives that I've talked about are in no way the total extent of what we need to do on our campus. Rather, they are just examples of what we can and what we must do. But more than anything else, I want our people to be as proud of themselves and of our university as I am proud of all of you. And we have a lot to be proud about. Look around Kansas City. Where you see urban education succeeding against long odds, you see ruse. Where you see the sick being healed and new cures being discovered, you see ruse. Where you see the innocent being freed from unjust imprisonment, you see ruse. Where you see communities reducing crime and neighborhoods organizing to improve, you see ruse. Where you see burgeoning opportunity in entrepreneurship, engineering, science, and technology, you see ruse. Where you see the arts flourishing and enriching lives, you see ruse. Ruse really are everywhere, and they do excel everywhere in this community. Folks, this is the essence of a community of excellence. Because of the special role UMKC plays in this community, our strength and resilience is Kansas City's strength and resilience. Even before I moved here, I could see that Kansas City is a city on the rise. Now I know that UMKC is the engine that will continue to power and accelerate that rise. UMKC, our university, this place of light must shine brighter still and provide light for all. And to achieve that, we must undertake the challenge to be a place of light and a community of excellence. I truly believe that we can achieve this goal and then some. Be proud and rue up.